Hello and welcome. Sorry for the little delay there, but I'm still getting the grips of this software. I think I've got it sussed, but that little old peanut in there is still rattling around. But there you go. Anyway, I want to talk about small to medium size entrepreneurs and how they're being affected by this Brexit. It's not very good, no, not at all. So, I hope the sound is okay. Please let me know, one way or the other, because it's one of my banes in this place, that it is. I've got a lot of, ambient noises going on, which I managed to cut down as much as I can, but I've added a filter, not just a pop filter, but another filter, software-based filter, to the microphone, so hopefully I haven't got that noise that I had in my last live stream. So anyway, let's get to it. Oh, hello Mark! Hello Mo Green, cheers for that buddy for letting me know about that. I didn't realise it was showing as live, because it hasn't come up on there showing as live, probably because I've got to refresh it. And, oh, okay. Yes, it is showing up live, that's because I didn't refresh it. I know, I'm an idiot. Je suis un anglais idiot. That's me. So, anyway, let's get to it. We've got 23 people here at the moment. That's great. That's pretty cool this early on for me. Anyway, so... Oh, hello, Peter. Hello, Mark. Hello, Mark. That's Mark Wootton, Mark Saunders. And that doesn't move up and down, so I'll have to use that one. What else we got here? Cal Pete. Hello there. Oh, the sound is fine, is it? I hope there's not any background noise. I have actually pressed the buy button on a new microphone. Actually, two. Because what happened was, I found this lovely microphone, a really good microphone, and hopefully it's going to improve things considerably. I bought it, I pressed buy, and I looked on eBay, there was one second hand on there for 20 quid. As I bought that at all. I just spent 200 quid on another microphone, and slightly older model, I found for 20. So I bought them both. I don't know why. But anyway, let's get to it. So I want to talk about the small to medium enterprises and how they're being affected by Brexit. Yes, it's lovely, isn't it? Why not hamper them even more during a pandemic? Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Not. So... I've written a little bit of spiel, so let me show you. Oh, there it is. So, what we got? Okay, small to medium-sized businesses. Now, they're the ones that haven't been they haven't been cared for, have they, during this pandemic? It's been a bit of a struggle for them to actually get any kind of help. Now, if you're a new business, well, forget it. You might have just started. You haven't got no income to prove. No, got no turnover because you just started. You might have gone 6 months, you might have 6 months of turnover, but that's not enough. No. So if you do get anything, it'll be tiny amount of money, not very good at all. So, anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. I was hoping to do a show on New Year's Day. Actually, on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day, I was going to do a show. But I was not feeling too great after this blooming third booster vaccine-y thing. Oh yeah, I felt like shit. Anyway, let's get into it. I mean, from the January the 1st this year, as you know, and throughout 2022, new border controls will gradually come into effect for goods imported from the EU. 1 year after the United Kingdom's effective exit from the European Union, when a whole load of fools put that cross in the wrong box. Yes, I just added that in. Border controls for goods from the continent will be gradually stepped up on the British side in 2022, raising the concern of SMEs, small to medium enterprises in the country, and in particular in the food industry. Not very wise when you've got a country that has very poor food security. Piss poor, in fact. Yeah, anyway, will it go smoothly? UK food and drink exports to the EU have already fallen by 24% from the UK to the EU. Right? So what do you think is going to happen in the other direction? I wonder. And that was in the first 9 months of 2021. According to figures from the Food and Drinks Federation. I've quoted them before in previous videos. Which said the slump helped knock the sector's exports by 2.7 billion between January and September, compared with pre-pandemic levels. I put a little picture there of spraying and what have you, because the EU have imposed a lot of rules regarding the use of pesticides, especially neonics and the use of glyphosate and what have you. But the UK, well, if you're importing foodstuffs from the likes of Australia and places like that, they don't have those rules. Now, when you got the EU practicing their precautionary principles, they don't want those foodstuffs entering the EU. No, because they want to protect their people from toxins. Usually a good idea. Anyway, by the HMRC's, Her Majesty's Revenues and Customs own calculations, the number of customs declarations needing to be processed will rise from an estimated 48 million a year to 250 million. Now that they are required on goods arriving from all 27 EU member states. The biggest risk was the lack of readiness amongst the EU traders. Yes, they're not ready. I did a video on that before as well. Especially small to medium-sized companies. They don't have the budgets, part of the problem. Now, I don't believe this is actually fair on them. They didn't ask for this flipping Brexit. To be fair, nor did I. You probably didn't either. It's madness. So, Manuel, we're going to question whether or not the aggro and the potential fines is actually worth it. Manuel will not continue exports to the UK and find new markets elsewhere, reducing the choice on the supermarket shelves and the store shelves, any store in fact, for Brits in the UK. Well, anybody in the UK, to be fair. Yeah, because of the shops. We all shop in the shops. It's not just Brits, no. Anyway, the degree of preparation for the controls entering into force on January the 1st is mixed, explains the employers' organisation, the CBI. If large companies are generally used to new practices, the preparation of small to medium enterprises is weaker. Well, to be fair to them, a lot of them don't really understand a lot of this stuff and to use systems that they've never had to use before. Yeah, such as the UK's chief system, which is ancient. It's about 30 odd years old and has been patched and patched and patched. When you get little updates, because it's full of flaws. It hasn't had a full rewrite yet. No, just sticky plasters. It's madness. Anyway, food is the main source of concern regarding imports into the UK, according to the CBI, as it is likely to be affected by a multitude of issues. Paperwork, high costs, loss of perishable food, and the availability of veterinary services to establish the required certificates, the phytosanitary certificates, the SPS. Oh, there. It's just going to be a shitstorm. Sorry. Anyway, to avoid queues of trucks at the border due to Brexit, the British government has already repeatedly postponed the full entry into force of formalities for imports from Europe, even if certain goods such as alcohol or tobacco are already under certain controls. Now, businesses have been faced with a series of challenges in recent months, and the government has taken into account requests to give them more time to adapt, said the executive in a document detailing the entry border controls with the EU, in force and updated in December. Now, Britain's small businesses should expect trade with the EU to be permanently damaged. There's no getting away from it. No. Excuse the pun, considering what's going on in the channel at the moment, but if you rock the boat, people will fall off. They generally do. And small businesses, those are weaker. They don't have the budgets to be able to sustain the hit. No. So they just won't do it. From the 1st of January, the Refrigerated Supply Chain Trade Body has said, after new customs checks take effect, that it says that it will make imports from the bloc more expensive, less flexible, and much slower. Amid growing public dismay, at the negative impact of Brexit. The Cold Chain Federation said specialty food imports could face the same 70% decline that affected exports of food by small businesses this year after Britain quit the EU single market and customs union. That's exports from the UK to the EU. We're going to see it in both directions. Oh, okay. Fun, hey? Not great when you got poor food security, reliant on the EU. Extra costs that amount to £300 to £400 for each consignment will mean sales of food to the EU countries in small batches could become uneconomic, said the CCF, which lobbies on behalf of firms that transport frozen and chilled foods. So we're talking about foods that can sit there in a refrigerated truck for some time. But what about the perishables? Oh my God. Anyway, I'll continue. UK food and drink exports to the EU fell by 24% in the same 9 months of 2021, according to the figures from the Food and Drink Federation, which said the slump helped knock the sector's exports by $2.7 billion between January and September, compared with pre-pandemic levels. Said 3/4 of the company directors expected costs to rise in the next 12 months, and most said that they would raise prices to either fully or partially offset the rise in costs. Now, I've said this before. I have to admit, the supermarkets have been absolutely amazing during this pandemic and obviously Brexit as well, because they've been sucking up these prices. I know they've had empty shelves, but it could have been a darn sight worse than it could. They've been working like crazy to try and get what they have onto the supermarket shelves. They don't need another issue, no. This is just like another layer of madness. Anyway, before I continue, I want to check your messages, your chat. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, don't press that button. I don't want to stop streaming, no. Oh, where is it? There it is. Ta-da! I'm back. I'm back. Anyway, let's see what people have been saying. Hello, Glasgow. Hello, Sparfly. Hello, William George Fraser. Hello, Oraman. Woo! Oh, let's see now. Let's see what people are saying now. Oh, it's scrolling now as well. Oh, that's easier. Oh, I'm glad about that. Right, shall we start at the top this time? Because I didn't do it last time. Coming in loud and clear. Cheers, Mo Green. Excellent. That's what I want to hear. I want it to be clear, obviously, because with my crazy accent, if it's not clear, you can imagine. Well, you already know. So you're listening to me. So, let's see what people are saying. So it sounds great. Oh, good. That's what I want to hear. It always worries me because I listened back to my previous stream and I thought, oh my God, oh crikey. I have to admit the speakers I got in my studio, in my kind of den office thing, I have to admit the speakers now are very, very good, very crispy speakers, and they pick out everything, but crikey, that was really bad. I was quite embarrassed. The other thing I got coming is an adapter so I can use an ordinary camera with an HDMI output, like USB TV and what have you, and comes into my computer here. And then I can actually use a decent camera. At the moment, I'm using a fairly decent webcam, but it blows all your highlights out. I don't even know. See my hands, the top of my head. It almost disappears. Well, not too bad at the moment. I've cut my lights down quite a bit, mine, because they're a bit on the bright side. Yeah, so I've turned them down. So it isn't too bad, but it could be a lot better. Anyway, I digress. Oh, Heather, how you doing? And Jennifer, Jane T, hello there. Happy New Year to you too. Oh, so many thanks, Mark Wooten says. You're welcome. Happy New Year to you and yours. Yeah, she's a good guy. I do love my missus. Been together a long while, Must be something, right? She's a bit older than me. She's about 9 years older than me. I was a wee nit, but she was my sugar mummy. A broke one. But yeah, she had 4 kids before we got together as well. So we got 2 between us as well. We've got 6 kids. So we had a bit of a house full for many, many years. But hey, that's life, isn't it? It can't be wrong because we're still together. Mad, isn't she? That's what I say. So why'd you do it? She doesn't know. So, anyway, Gene T, anyone? Oh yeah, Daniel Lampert, the guy for the wine guy, isn't he? Yeah, that's it. I know him. I follow him on Twitter as well. Anyone read? Yeah, he did a really long tweet about all the problems he was having regarding importing his wine. If I remember rightly, it had to go into a special container, which basically bonded or bonded? No, a bonded container. And it has to stay there until everything is sorted out and all the customs. So it's kind of a way of trying to ease the customs procedures. In fact, it just made it worse for them. It's just an absolute nightmare. And if you're only importing a small, let's say that you've got a part pallet of stuff coming into the UK. Remember, that's stuff going into the EU before, but now coming into the UK, and you're sharing a pallet because you've only made a small order. Take a half pallet, and your pallet of stuff doesn't require phytosanitary certificates. No, because it's, I don't know, blocks of something that doesn't, boxes I mean, of something that doesn't require phytosanitary. But the other half of the pallet is full of cheese. Well, that other half of that pallet is going to stop your goods, which aren't a problem coming in to the UK, having the same delay as the cheese. They're not going to go around splitting the pallets, no. Unless you want to do it yourself and go down there and sort it out. Now, talking about that, I'll talk about that in a minute, actually, later on in my SME little script down there. So when we get back to that, we'll probably come up to it as regarding the farmers. Not just the food, no, other stuff as well. So anyway, Mark Wood and BBC is not reporting. Yeah, I know. I'm really dismayed with the BBC. That's really taking a real downturn as far as I'm concerned. You get some really good reporting on there, but I think they're shaming themselves with other stuff, especially Brexit related. And many media outlets do not talk Brexit at all. It's got to be one of the biggest issues, apart obviously the pandemic is obviously a major issue, but you hope there's going to be an end to that. Brexit's for good. This is a nightmare. God. You know, I was exporting bits and pieces, wooden stuff that I make, and I don't export anymore to the UK. I just don't want the aggro of it. No. Oh, my dear wife, she's brought me something. You brought me a coffee. You brought me some dogs. Oh, cheers, sweetheart. Thank you. I was just saying how great you were. Oh, I've got a beer. There's a Sebastian.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. You say hello.
This is Sebastian there.
He's a lovely fella. He's a very softy, but he does have a very loud bark. He's got a very high-pitched bark. Yeah, Wally's in front of the fire down there. I've got my fire on in there. Oh, I've got a door now. Can we get Dora up here? Oh, she's heavy. She's a big lump. Oh, she is.
Hello, everyone.
She's actually the youngest, yet she's got a grey beard like the missus. I got a look there, I'll tell you.
No more coffee for you.
Why not? No coffee for me? No. That's terrible.
Only nice people.
I did say I don't know why you're with me, and I have asked, and you don't know either. Anyway, I digress. Look at my coffee over here. Oh dear, don't spill it on my computer. I need a Brexit mug. I've got my migration t-shirt on my pad in the bear, let's see. Yeah. Talking about t-shirts, I've been doing a few t-shirt designs which I've been putting on Teespring. I'll put a link in the description down below if you are interested. I don't set the prices though, just so you know. But I do get a little chunk off it, which is very, very helpful. Some are pretty cool, like I put the cross in the right box, that'd be me. And then other ones sort of say, got like, you've probably seen the image going about, which is like a Neanderthal man, as through evolution and what have you. And then it's a guy going, go back. Well, I go back. Brexit is fecked up. Yeah, because it is. It's oh dear. Oh, what about hello, Peter? What mic? At the moment, I'm using the same microphone I was using the last time. I've just put a digital filter in line because I was getting a lot of late noise, basic noise reduction added to it. So hopefully it's right. The actual microphone is actually a good microphone, but that wasn't the problem. It's all the other stuff in line. The microphone I've got coming is a Samsung, not Samsung as in Samsung the mobile phones, Samsung like Samsung and Delilah, G-Track Black Pro or something. You'll see it later. It's supposed to come on Wednesday, so I've got to get my head around it. But it's a big chunky thing, and knobs and dials. It's a bit like if anyone knows it, the Blue Yeti microphone, but on steroids and far better quality. I checked review after review after review. until my brain was going around in circles and my eyes were rolling in my head. And that was the best one. It was a little bit more expensive, but it could do so much other stuff. Plus, you could actually plug a guitar directly into it. Well, I can't play anymore because I can't tunnel. Anyway, I digress yet again. We will get back into the script in a minute. Hello, Heather. You love my Star Wars t-shirts. I do love Star Wars. I was thinking about plagiarising a bit of Star Wars imagery with Brexit. So somehow I can put the two together. Do you reckon it'll work? Or do you reckon I'll get struck off somehow? Or like, lightning will come from the sky and just... Maybe. So... Well, I haven't checked. Let's go back up here. So I'm singing in the microphone now. Love me tender, love me true. That ain't very good. My tablet's just gone loopy. Alright, there you go. I'll be using this one instead then. No, that is pretty cool. Nope, they're not reporting that. Yeah, like Gene T was saying about Daniel Lambert's tweet, that was a very, very informative tweet, and that was his own life experience. And his actual, if I remember rightly, one of the problems he had was with the Chief software, which I'm going to talk about a bit later on. It's a system they have to use for importing goods into the UK. And it's flipping old and broken. It's not designed for the amount of declarations that the UK is now going to be up against, which we'll talk about in a minute. It is considerably more, obviously. Oh, customs union. Anyway, sorry, I'll digress. Hello, Glasgow. Hello, Hank. I've read a lot about wines. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're talking about Lambert. Richie dropping tax on champagne and prosecco. So that's from Italy, isn't it? Prosecco. To me, it's just sparkling wine. And there's sparkling wine all over the place here. Things like prosecco are not that easy to get here. I think they do it in Lidl, so. Yeah, I wonder who benefit. Yeah, it's all about the parties, isn't it? That aren't the party, and there's definitely no cheese and wine. Cheers, Jeff. I'll do my best. It's quite hard sometimes. It's quite demoralising. When you put videos up and they just don't do anything, you go, oh, God. From what my channel's doing before to it's doing now, it is really demoralising. To give you an idea, I checked my subscriber count. Subscribers are growing, but really, really slow rate now. And from last year, May, I was doing around 1,000. It's last year. Get confused then. I was getting around 1,000 subscribers a month. I checked this morning, it's 125. I feel like the channel's dead, is what it feels like, but there you go. I'll keep plodding on, see what happens. The problem is you need views. You don't get views, you don't get anything. You don't earn from it at all. You don't make a lot anyway, as you probably already know. Hello, David Mark Wart. Brexit will only push more people out of the UK. Very true, especially businesses. Mark Sparrow from the Cheshire Cheese Company. He's been one of the ones that have been documented quite a bit. But they were one of the early ones that got affected by the export into the EU. They struggled with that with the phytosanitary because of the cheese, obviously. And for him, he was going to be setting up in the Netherlands. I think there's still a possibility he might still do that, is what he said, but it's delayed at the moment, so they haven't done it yet. It's the cost. Can you imagine what it costs to set up distribution in another country? It's just so they can have, instead of having like small business to customer, the B2C model orders, where people order online and it gets delivered to them, and there might need to be one little, truckload of cheese. Under the new rules, costs around 220, 230 quid in costs for about 10's worth of cheese, if that. It's just ridiculous. Who's going to buy that? They're not, are they? So what he's got to do now is he's importing large quantities over or into the EU, and then the pallets will be split up. So then it's just one phytosanitary, and also it doesn't get the split pallet problem like you had got before. It's just a nightmare. Just adds costs to everything. It's crazy. What I've got here. Where are we? Oh, new tweets. Oh, I haven't seen this new tweets. That's about champagne, is it? About champagne pint bottles. Oh, God, really? That's ridiculous. You got... Sorry. He's... Boris Johnson has marked that as one of the Brexit successes. A pint. Really? So you put the pint crown on... They could have done that anyway. It made no blooming difference. It's just ridiculous. No one's going to... Oh... It's a Brexit success. What? And they're saying about champagne, because it used to be in pints at one time in the UK. But champagne comes from Champagne, as you probably already know. It's a place in France. You honestly think they're going to start bottling 1 pint bottles of champagne? No, I don't see it. You're still going to get 750ml bottles of champagne, or whatever it might be. Magnums or whatever. But I'll tell you what will probably happen. The UK will start getting their sparkling wine, UK sparkling wine, and call it champagne. That's what will probably happen. And then that will be in 1 pint bottles. Because you haven't got the AOP, appellation and all that, you know, the regional rules in the EU. It's just madness. Watch your Yorkshire puddings. Yeah. John Clements, you might have a point, but swearing, I don't actually swear that much. I do say feck. Yeah, which is kind of, if you know Father Ted, that's what it's from Father Ted anyway. But I wouldn't. I'll tell you what I did find the other day though. The last video I did I had to ask for it. I had to appeal against it because I couldn't get it monetized at all. And they went through fine in the end after I appealed. By that time, the video's dead, isn't it? You know, it's gone. And I put down to the fact I used my soundbite about, one of my Father Ted soundbites. Because I can remember that happened to me before on one of my recorded videos. And the thing about the recorded videos, you can actually show you in the video where the problem is. That's really helpful, but not on these live ones. So, yeah, you are right. You know what? I do have a problem with it though. I tell you what I won't do is I won't just constantly rant and rave, F this and F that, because I don't think it adds anything to the content at all. It has to be able to either create some sort of passion in what you're trying to say, but if you just rant at every other word as an F word, well then there's no point to it at all. I'd probably no point to it anyway. But all right, the algorithm finds it and they say sorry, we don't like that. So. Must be like the lines of time. I'm just trying to scan through here. My tablet's gone off. So that's annoying. Bear with me. Why is it doing that? That's annoying. Aha. Sorry about that. It's going beep, beep, beep. Okay, back into that. And we're back on there. I'm just trying to check the chat out. There we go. When you say stop swearing, are you talking about in the videos itself? Because I don't generally. I don't think I do. Do I? Do I swear a lot? I hope not. Yeah. The problem with news-related content, Glasgow, I'm really struggling with is that by the time I actually get the stuff online, it's too late. It's gone. The moment's gone. So I've got so much other stuff I have to do. I'm really struggling to do any kind of schedule, and at the moment my heart isn't really in it as much as it was, to be honest, if I'm absolutely honest. Since it's all been going a bit pear-shaped. Anyway, let's get back to what we were originally. What I'm going to talk about: small to medium enterprises. So anyway, I digress a little bit there. Or maybe I was on a little bit too long there. I'll come back to the chats in a moment. And we've got 82 people here. Very kind of you too. I much appreciate it. Anyway, I want to carry on with these small to medium enterprises because I actually feel quite bad for them. I'm honest about it. Unless you're Brexit, of course, well then obviously you can swivel. Yeah, because you are a. Well, what do you reckon you are? I reckon you're a.
Kipper.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. So, anyway, how will the paperwork be submitted? Now, exporters, they're going to have to pre-lodge the paperwork with the correct authorities themselves, all through an agent before their goods are loaded onto a ferry or train at Calais or other entry points and lorry parks. Neither British importers nor EU exporters are ready for the changes. The carriers will be obliged to have records of the goods to allow Her Majesty's Revenues and Customs to decide whether they will be free to go after arriving in Dover, Holyhead and other ports. Now these other places are also the Farage garages. Now the paperwork doesn't stop there, no. Declarations in relation to the rules of origin must be completed to determine whether tariffs are applicable or not. Now, rules of origin are, a nightmare. There are so many anomalies. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to import a component for your product. You've imported that component from the EU, and that product was made in the EU. And that product it's not subject to tariffs because it's part of the Trade and Cooperation Agreement and complies with the rules of origin. Now that component's come in for your product, which you put into your product, you have made something else. Let's say, for instance, it was a car. Yeah, or anything, in fact. Oh no, let's say it's argument's sake, a fuel injector pump. Yeah. And there's a major part in that injector pump that was imported from the EU, and you've put it together in Britain, or any part of the UK, apart from Northern Ireland, and now you're going to export it again to the EU. Because that component come from the EU is now subject to the rules of origin. How messed up is that? That's just one crazy example. It's going to affect everything. Because things aren't made from items, components from one place. No. It's made from everywhere. China, for instance. My God, yeah. Blimey. How many products do you know that are either completely manufactured in China and then sold back to the EU? Or anywhere, in fact. Textiles. We'll be getting into that in a minute. Anyway, EU suppliers of agri-food products into Britain will also have to pre-notify the authorities of any exports. Oh, yeah. What about phytosanitary? Now, on the 1st of July 2022. I know we've got a few months to wait. But those checks that really have damaged British exports, well, they're going to damage British imports too. Now, a lot of them are going to be EU businesses, sadly. Well, sadly for anyone, really. Well, SPS checks, phytosanitary checks, will be carried out on all imports to the UK from the EU. Many EU exporters will just say, it's not worth it. The costs involved and the delays on perishables such as foodstuffs. Well, the florist industry, for instance, will be hard hit, especially soft stems. Oh, look, all those lorries. Oh, I'll have a sip of drink. Coffee, in fact, which is getting cold. Anyway, where will the checks take place? Now, that's that's quite an interesting one, because it's not necessarily going to be at the ports, no. Her Majesty's Revenues and Customs have had considerable difficulties organising the sanitary and phytosanitary SPS controls posts. For a start, there's not enough capacity of vets to provide such services to the meat industry in the whole of the EU. Remember, these are going to be on, some of these checks are going to be on the EU side because it's coming into the UK. Oh dear, more lorry queues. Oh dear, quite likely. But we do have the Farage garages. Oh, lovely. Okay. Ugh. Gosh, you want to work there? No. But I hear they have. Oh, they apply special services. Yeah, they've ladies coming apparently. So I read somewhere. Anyway, I digress. And during the summer, it confirmed that it was dramatically reduced in size to a planned facility close to the famous White Cliffs of Dover, with most paperwork now expected to be checked at its Ashford Farage garage. Lorry Park instead, where the air is full of particulates and the eye-watering vapour of urine. Oh, lovely. Oh, my favourite. Blimey. Anyway, Dover Port Health Authority announced at the beginning of December that it was to move to a new facility in the nearby village of Whitfield. George Eustace's Department for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs has confirmed this is one of the 3 potential phytosanitary sites. Another will be open at Ashford, and the 3rd site in Kent. That is still to be, well, that one's still to be identified. We don't know where that one's going to be yet. It'll be somewhere. It might be on your doorstep, in the bottom of your garden, maybe. Are you excited? No? Nor were those who voted for Brexit in Kent. No, they don't like all these Farage garages that are popping up in their back gardens. No. Anyway, I made a video about this a while back, about the problems exporting farm machinery. Well, the issue, that was, any residual sod that was found in the machine, well, it made that import or export fail. And that was stuff going into the EU. It's now going to, be stuff going into the UK come the 1st of July. One example was an exporter of a baler who went to the lengths of travelling to the port at extreme cost and stripping that machine down and pressure washing every cover, inside every cover and reachable part. And this machine failed inspections. But come July, EU exporters to the UK, well, they're going to be subject to SPS checks. British farmers import vast quantities of heavy, used machinery for farming. But this extends to construction as well. And what about the seeds? Well, that's another huge issue. That might be a different video. Oh, blimey. Unavoidable problems. Now, if it does not anticipate big traffic jams, that's small to medium enterprises that is, of trucks in ports or at the borders, the British Federation of Food Industries, the FDF, considers for its part inevitable that companies will encounter problems, which could be in certain cases block completely deliveries from the EU suppliers. Oh dear. Now the National Audit Office, the UK auditor, warned in early November that the government had to work harder to be ready for the increased border controls, especially with regard to the implementation of new systems. But, and there's a big but, this government does not prepare for anything. What they do is they put the onus on the business. They just do random promotions on British television, telling them, get ready. Now, back in 2020, at December, they were telling them just that. Get ready, but get ready for what? They didn't know what to get ready for. They didn't even know what the deal was going to be at that point. I don't think the government did either. Well, this is just going to be crazy. Anyway, despite a trade deal, more like a hard Brexit, well, the EU and the UK, well, trading goods between the island and the mainland fell sharply just after Brexit took effect, before rebounding somewhat, and then collapsing yet again. And with the situation in Northern Ireland is separate, while the Northern Irish Protocol, de facto, maintains it in the single European market. Many of these industries are already debted to the hilt to smooth over the effects of last year. But it is blatantly obvious that the banks do not freely lend to SMEs. No. And besides, when they do, they want them to put their house on the line. The risk is just too great. Now, this problem, labelled the Macmillan Gap, was first identified in 1931. And in, 2019, it is acknowledged that the gap is a mammoth 22 billion. They don't like SMEs, no. They consider them a high risk. Now, SMEs are hit in all directions, with little or no buffer from the government. Many businesses might argue that the UK has had 6 years to prepare for this. And why aren't these checks, online? But they are. And the UK has antiquated computer systems, software that's decades old. Yes, it's true the chief system was developed almost 30 years ago. And it's patched to hell, it is. It's broken. And it's not designed to cope with the 250 million declarations per year that are expected, since the EU suppliers will shy away. They will. Because, see, the number drastically diminish. The bottom line is, the cost of imports to the UK will increase, and you, the customer, will have to pay the cost. At a time when rapid inflation is already squeezing our wallets. Blimey. It's quite scary, really. Like I said before, I've got family in the UK, and you guys as well, It's a bit of a worry. Anyway, I'm back. Make you jump. Made me jump. Anyway, let's just check these messages again. Oh. Ah. Yeah, you're right, Johnny. Small businesses in the EU, they have some options. Yeah, they've got, 26 other member states they can do business, within the single market. Let alone any other free trade deals. Yeah. What's the UK got? They've got broken free trade deals, which aren't really free. No. Zero benefit. Their own figures say that. Like, for instance, with the Australian trade deal. That thing's just ridiculous. Benefits nobody but Australia. Oh, hello, Mello. How you doing, buddy? Oh, he's got his caps lock on again. I still think you spilt your coffee or something onto your keyboard, haven't you? And stuck that caps lock button down. That's what you done. I will notice you. Don't worry. You don't have to put caps lock on. There aren't any pint-sized champagne bottles. No, there isn't. Not yet, anyway. There will be. I'm sure of it. They'll probably be plastic. Yeah. And non-recyclable, probably. Oh, Mellows. Oh, nothing said. Okay, yeah, that 10p from Asda will make a difference. They just took £20 a week from people. Well, that's a good point, actually. You're talking about the tax on the champagne bottles, on the champagne. From Richie Sunak's new plan. Oh, crikey, there's loads. Blimey. I'm scrolling up. Have a look over here. Might be easier. Ooh, what's that? Bearberg. Oh yeah, please like my video. I've got 65 likes so far, and there's 91 people watching. That's nice, thank you. You're all crazy. Like me, maybe, I don't know. Oh, hello, Heather. I think I've already said that, haven't I? Those who voted for Brexit, this is from Mrs. Nomad. Are you nomadic? And have lost it all. I know. Like the farmers, that's just madness, isn't it? The fishermen, more madness. Phytosanitary is going to affect them on imports now as well, isn't it? But don't worry. The fish are happy fish. Oh, so uplifting that it is. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, David Harris, hello, buddy. Pint glasses or any marked with a crown will have just one marker. Yeah, fair point. Who's going to go to... But considering a lot of these pint glasses now are made in places like China and places like that, that's got to put the price up of the glasses. It's inevitable, isn't it? Yeah, and others won't accept them. But, you know, it's just... What's... Oh! Sorry? Oh, no, I've got it on here. It's fine now. Thank you, Dan. Very kind. No, it's fine, Dan. I can see it right now. Yeah, what we taught me doing is I'll put a monitor up there so I can see the chat a lot easier, so it's bigger. It's like little tiny words. All right, let's get back up here. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, in fact, that was better. I didn't realize I could do that. I managed to stretch it out a bit. Oh, that's a good point. Tim Ballum just said, will they have the crown and the UK CA mark? Well, considering they're going to have a limited market, maybe. But they've postponed that, haven't they? Because no one's ready for it. That could be, construction industry, the UK CA mark is going to be an absolute nightmare. It's just going to limit the availability of stuff because you're going to get a lot of EU businesses. They're just not going to bother because the market's too small. Now, I know some people say, well, just accept the rules of whatever. It's not as simple as that. You've got European Court of Justice you've got to think about, but also some items have to actually go to be tested. Now, like for instance, my daughter, I mentioned this before, my daughter wanted to sell toys and she had to do her own tests and take photographs and stuff like that to put under the CE mark. And it's just basically making a declaration. It's really basic, but quite a simple thing to do. It's no real big deal. But if you've got things like, I don't know, a car or something like that, or some items that require full-on tests and checks, well, they're not cheap. No. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. We need to lawsuit Boris Johnson. It isn't just him, is it? It's him and all his cronies. Hello, Geraldine. How you doing? Yeah, I'm fine. Usual sort of aches and pains and usual health problems, but apart from that, I'm absolutely fine. Yeah, this is... I have to admit, this is a bit frustrating, isn't it? I think it is, anyway. In some ways, it's very interesting to see what's going on. The amount of self-harm that we've done to ourselves. Well, I didn't, because I put the cross in the right box. That I did. I'm sure you did too. If you could vote, that is. If you've been out the country more than 15 years, you couldn't. Cruel, I'd say. Now, Glasgow Kiss says, I work with EU drivers all the time. Most say they will never be back to the UK, as it's not worth the time and hassle. Who wants to sit in a flippin' Farage garage for not just hours, sometimes days, to get everything finalised? And now it's like to be in both directions. It's just crazy. We need free flowing of foodstuffs going into the UK to feed the nation. You all need to start digging up your gardens and doing a veggie plot. Growing carrots and potatoes and stuff. Or think of all the crops that are quite... all the soft imports. Like tomatoes. Definitely tomatoes. That's a must. Avocados are out. You can't do avocados. No. Sorry, Megan. Oh, she's not there anyway. Oh, dear. But yeah, it's just nuts, isn't it? It's absolute nuts. Anyway, I want to carry on with my... we'll have a coffee. Which has gone cold. Now, I was going through my videos actually that yesterday, my older videos. So some of them, I thought, oh my god, I didn't do that, did I? You guys, I've got over 1,100 videos on this channel. and still got my views have just plummeted. It's just nuts. It's not been shown at all. But 1,100 odd videos. I mean, going a year. Nuts. Actually, I'd say it's going to be going a year. It's only really started from February. It's when January, February time is when mainly start kicking off with it. And it was growing crazy. They was doing really well with it. But hey, yo. Say la vie. There we go. There we checking on here. It's cool. Well, 82 people. Oh, lost food. Don't go away. Stay with me. Yeah, British pint glasses. Raymond Webb says, help me, people who I know, who are Brexiteers. Do you really want my kind of help? No, probably not. Are very pleased with the way Brexit is going. You are kidding me. How can anyone see anything rosy what's going on at the moment? When will they see the light? And how can I help them? Sorry, but they're lost cause. If they can't see the light as it is, this front of their faces. If they can't see, there's a major problem. What to say, really? That's really not to say. Hobbit homes. Who makes Hobbit homes? Going to sell them to middle. Oh God, you've been funny. All right, William George Fraser. I get it now. Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing before I started reading it. Now, how is that guy who makes Hobbit homes going to sell them to Middle Earth without the CE mark? Fair point. Well, that's a good point, Mr. Pink. How will the small businesses in the EU be affected? As they will also have to do. No, they're the ones that already are going to be affected. We're talking about imports into the UK from the EU. So business-wise, they are going to be seriously affected by these checks. But also, we have to remember that British businesses requires components and requires items. You've got stores and, a certain amount. Like coffee shops, for instance, a lot of the coffee comes via the EU before it gets to the UK. Coffee beans. I know things like coffee that can be imported directly, but a lot of the containers, they come in to port into the EU and then go across land and then over into the UK. Some smaller container ships go directly to the UK, but they want to offload once. These ships are so vast. They want to go to port. These mega ships. They want to go to port and they just want to offload. They don't want to go to port and then do another port. They want to do one trip and then they want to go back again. It takes miles and miles and miles just to stop. It's a major issue. And huge amounts of fuel to start moving again. Why can't you put sails on? A jib and a spinnaker, maybe. I don't think they like a big sail, all those containers stuck up there, aren't they? The windage on those things must be horrendous. Well, next thing I want to talk about is banking. Before I do this, how long have we been streaming for? Well, nearly an hour. So I'm just going to do a little bit about what's going on with the bank. It kind of reflects on what's going on here with inflation. Because it affects imports as well, doesn't it? Everything becomes so much more expensive. Joy. I blame Andrew Bailey and Brexit. Because he's a Brexiter anyway. Will this collapse of British stock? Well, that's a valid point. Raymond Webb. If the share markets are pretty much diminished quite a lot, haven't they? They're still huge in London, but a lot of them have gone over to places like Netherlands and places like that. So they've done quite well out of it. But we're not talking about that. It's not a huge industry. It is a huge industry, but not in relationship to the size of the city's overall GDP. Farage garages use the police song as an anthem. Okay, you're talking about peeing in the bottle. Yeah. Thank you, William. And Johnny K says that HMRC expects small EU businesses to do their admin for them. That is it, and collect all the VAT and send it back to the UK. It's nuts. So he carries on to say, yeah, most small to medium enterprises or businesses won't, since it's counterproductive. Yeah, it is. Everything costs money, and if it takes up time, it costs money. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it? If you're a small exporter, but you've got to remember there's multiple small exporters, and they make up a huge part of the UK's GDP. But also, obviously, for EU businesses as well, it's going to affect everybody. It has a knock-on effect. Eventually, it affects you, the purchaser, the customer. Oh, it's messed up. That is. Anyway, let's get to my next part of this video, and that is to do with the Bank of England. Sorry, I can resist. My coffee's really cold. Oh, got a really tickly cough at the moment. I'm trying to hold it back. Anyway, the Bank of England. Well, quite frankly, they badly misjudged the persistence of inflation. Now, frankly, I've been talked, about this over the last year. And, well, how part-time gimp and that Brexiter, Andrew Bailey, was using methods to prop up the British economy. That was pretty much based on thin air, not assets. It's also underestimating the risks that its policies pose to financial stability. Two competent assets, well, quite frankly, were Mark Carney and Mr. Boom, Andy Haldane, who both did not follow Andrew Bailey's pie-in-the-sky financial models of bond buying with digital money from the air. Gold and diamonds all have inherent value, not just because they are pretty, but they are widely used in heavy industry and, well, semiconductors. Yeah, that's another story. Now, they too are going to be mined to rarity that they are, like lithium. Which also will, well, the mining of lithium, if we exhaust that, my God, that really damages the ecosystem. Batteries. Anyway, the UK inflation, like many countries, follow the trends of another major economy. So it rings true that the US also has a collapsed economy, with its last recorded inflation of 6.8%, from 1.2% in 2020, increasing living costs for Americans and thus crime. Now, where there is poverty, there's always crime. You can't get away from it. The lockdowns in early 2020 are that trigger, crippling the GDP, the gross domestic product, and disposable spending power of these economies. But you know what these other countries, well, have in common. Well, they don't have Brexit. No. Welcome to Brexit, sir. So when they showed a recovery, the UK will, well, they're going to lag behind. And Brexit is that sea anchor. I don't know why I said sea anchor. And it's not an ordinary anchor. Sea anchor is it's like a sail you put in the sea, you drag it behind. It helps stabilise the boat, or stop it going in a certain direction or whatever. Anyway, use it in high winds. So anyway, I digress. The problems, however, don't stop there. For much of the last decade, its policies of low rates have contributed significantly to inequality, boosting asset and house prices, barring more youngsters from getting anywhere near the property ladder. Oh, and calling on the bank of mum and dad. Yes, low interest rates have made it harder to get on the property market. Low interest rates have boost property sales, reducing availability, thus increasing property value. It's just supply and demand. Increasing rates have been too low for too long in the UK. Interest rates, that is. I suppose we could just build more houses. But what developer is stupid enough to flood the market with properties to push down values? They want to get as much as they can for their houses, don't they? Well, I would. If I wanted to screw people over, that is. Now, the immediate challenge for the bank is inflation. The annual rate of the consumer price inflation, CPI, well, has risen this year from 0.7% in January to 5.1% in November. And it looks set to exceed the bank's 2% target throughout 2022. And as a result, a cost of living crisis will hit many people hard. Now, I find their predictions a little bit optimistic, quite frankly. And other banking gurus, well, they've predicted inflation to be nearer 10% in 2022. Could even be higher, who knows? Well, this affects everybody. Screws us all over, doesn't it, in the end? Now, inflation is quite a major issue. But how do you control it? You control it by increasing interest rates and other measures. Now, just doing quantitative easing, which is pretty much what Andy Bailey's been doing, but with imaginary money, I don't think it helps. Maybe someone could tell me otherwise, because you probably know more than I do. But I like things I can see. Yeah. I like things I can quantify. I've got money in one hand, and I've got something I want to buy in the other, or might be a press buy button. But quite frankly, I want to know what I've got in this hand can afford what I've got in that hand. Or at least I've got some sort of system in place, a mortgage, for instance, that I can afford. But interest rates is going to affect, house buying. And thus, it could potentially bring down the price of the housing. But will it in the UK, when there's a major shortage of properties to buy? Now, when I moved here, I'll tell you what, let's get rid of that. Let's get back. I'll tell you what, I'll just let you have one last look at Andrew Bailey. There you are. I made that for you. I did. Do you like the ball? I think it's very him, don't you? Do you like his Coopy hair as well? Yeah, I thought that was very him. He just looks the sort, doesn't he? I'm sure. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to business. Anyway, when I bought my house, when I sold my house before we moved here in France, in Salhouse in Norfolk, not far from Wroxham, if you know where Wroxham is in Norfolk, and we sold it for a certain amount of money. We sold it for that's 200,000 when we sold it over 10 years ago now. And within 2 or 3 years, it went up by £100,000. 100,000. Somebody sold it again, basically, because they got divorced and they decided they wanted to move on, go different ways. He was in the RAF. He was. Anyway, he worked on the Lancasters, on the Battle of Britain fleet, what do you call it? I don't know. That's what he was working on. Very interesting job. Quite an interesting guy, actually. But anyway, their marriage failed and they sold the house. And they made £100,000 in just I can't remember, it was 2 or 3 years. I thought, crikey, I wish I kept it now. Blimey. Anyway, let's see what you're saying. Oh, what's going on? Where are we now? Where was our Nazi Viking blood? Okay, I don't quite get that. Am I missing the boat here? Or the plot? It's a microwave. All right. Bayer, buddy. I hadn't quite understood the full extent of the importance of Dutch ports. Everything is offloaded there. Yeah. It's nuts. Because what you think of Holland really is, if it wasn't for their engineering, they'd be underwater, wouldn't they? Crazy. The level of engineering in Holland is just, the Netherlands is unbelievably good. Some very clever people there is. Talbot from the Netherlands is Conservative here. No, not today. I'll tell you one of the things that I've actually... For me, living here in France, we're quite isolated here. And one of the things I quite like, what I've been doing, very much like actually doing regarding all shorts, is I've met a lot of very interesting people. And crikey, some clever people too. But I mean, being government, or maybe not, because they all seem to be crazy in there. Oh, anyway, I digress. No, it is nice to have this. It's almost like you get to know people, don't you? And like we went to Ginger Island with Graham Hughes and that, got to know Graham and other people that follow Graham, what have you, and it's really quite nice. Talking about people who follow, Graham. Glasgow, buddy. I've always said low to you, but I thought I'd say it again. So, okay, he says there will be a referendum bill passed this year in Scotland. Then the expected court case. Yeah. No Section 30 will be forthcoming, but it will not be required. Oh, I see your point, yeah. You know my views on that. Well, quite frankly, if Scotland wants to leave the Union, or leave the butchers' apron, I don't blame them, quite frankly, because they've been treated like muck from this government. It's just every time they go up there, it seems to me that the SNP's vote goes up. Oh, Boris Johnson's going to go to Scotland. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, he doesn't help the cause of the Union, does he? Not at all. He always says something that just annoys somebody. Some Scotsman somewhere. Or Scots lady. Take care, Jane. Well, that might be a while ago looking at this. Heather Hank says, the Times are peddling through this rubbish. Yeah. The economy is set to make the most rapid recovery from the pandemic among the G7 countries, returning it to where it was before COVID by spring. No. That's just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. How can it? We've only got to use a little bit of logic, haven't we? We can see that Brexit is a noose around our necks, and you just can't get away from it. I'm not going to say it's going to be rapid growth, because of course there is, because it's gone to ground zero. You're going to get growth, and that's when you get inflation. If you think like last year, it's like 1.2% or so, wasn't it, for the United States? And it's at the start of the lockdown, and then it grew, before the lockdown, and then their inflation just went through the roof. It's just nuts. Yes, there are economists, because I've read some economists. Everyone predicts certain things, don't they, based on other stuff. You know, I suppose it creates a balance, but it needs to be based on fact, doesn't it, really? It's just nuts. It's just no way. There's no. I'll be very surprised. I'd eat my hat. Yeah, maybe. Might be a bit chewy. It'll take me a while, but I'll get through it eventually. Johnny K, are they pushing that PAP? Yes, they are. Asking Heather. I thought it was understood the bounce petered out already in August. It did. So we got that sudden boost, didn't we, in trade in July, and then we couldn't get people to do the work, and it just. Some of it obviously is to do with the pandemic as well, but a lot of it's due to the fact that we haven't got the European workers. They were a buffer. You know? Hard-working individuals from EU member states, they created that buffer. And if, for instance, we had a shortage of people, more people came in. That's kind of what's happening at the moment within the EU. Lorry drivers, for instance, in the EU, if, for instance, I don't know, France is short of lorry drivers, German lorry drivers or lorry drivers in Eastern Europe, they come and fill that space. We sort of buffer each other. Like engine again. That's a really stupid analogy, I know. But I said it anyway. Sorry. Okay, I'm back in there. Did someone talk about Boris Johnson? What about Boris Johnson?
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera,
No,
TV.
because that was Trump. And talk about that. Someone said, okay, Donald Trump was here voting for Brexit. KKK. Is Brexit in the UK? Don't quite understand that. But he was, didn't he? He did make a visit. Yeah, like an idiot. And now he's saying there was about 5,000 voters. 5,000 voters were dead during his own election that he got voted out, didn't he? Because Biden got in. Is that right, Mo Green? Marcus says, we all buffer each other And exactly at that moment, the YouTube is a buffering problems. Okay. Funny. Okay. Yeah, no, it is a bit crazy. It is a bit crazy. Wroxham. Yeah, okay, that's Norfolk. William George Fraser's taking the mick, and probably taking the mick of my accent actually. Yeah, Wroxham, and he goes, "Don't you mean Wroxham? Go some carrots." Yeah, actually, talking about houses here in France, I didn't realise they've actually increased in value, almost doubled in value here in France. So I've been told in this area, because the house prices here are really, really low. I got funny feelings because a lot of the Brits have moved back to the UK. Maybe other EU EU nationals, what they're doing, so they're moving to France now. Oh, thank God they're gone. I'm still here. Sorry. You won't get rid of me that easy, no. Yeah. We have had a lot of people here that have moved back to or moved, to the UK after being there for several years in some cases, either because they're frightened or what have you, they're worried about rules and have to fill out forms and can't jour, losing their Britishness, all that crap. We have had quite a lot of that. And I still meet people now who haven't gone back, who still talk a bit like that, and I think, God, Bennett, why don't you just shut up? You can't argue with these people. It goes nowhere. It just goes on. You just beat yourself up really over it, and you just end up being all depressed because you're surrounded by idiots. But on the whole, most people are fairly good. But I have found a lot of Brits who kind of think that the EU have been mean towards the UK. They didn't vote for this crap, did they? No. Britain did. Or the United Kingdom. All the Northern Irelanders doing pretty well out of it. And, well, obviously Ireland on the whole. Now, I was going to talk a little bit about, what we doing on time? 1 hour and 12 minutes. About your favourite person. I was. Do you know what I was going to talk about? Do you know? Have a guess. No? I'll put you out of misery. But look at this. He used to be leader of Labour. Tony Blair. Oh, and his knighthood. Not just knighthood. Something to do with it, some garter. Not suspenders. I don't know if I will now. Because it raises tensions. Oh, sod it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. We're going in. We're going to talk about Tony Blair, the...
Tipper.
Yeah, that one. Well, okay. As you know, he's been given a knighthood. So let's just put you back into my... Oh, there we... Oh, go away. There's a gimp. Go away, Mr. Gimp. There you go. Oh, and inflation. Oh, Andy Haldane. Okay. Now, I haven't got any pictures on this one because I was humming how I was going to do it, but it's not that long anyway. It ain't very long. Let's do it anyway. I'm just going to speak for this one. I'm sure some people are going to be swearing. Now, Tony Blair, the Duchess of Cornwall, and the Baroness Amos are to be appointed as members of the Order of Garter. And like I say, it's got nothing to do with suspenders. No. England's oldest and most senior order of chivalry. Are they implying that Tony Blair is chivalrous? Or chivalry? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. The former Prime Minister is now to be known as Sir Tony. Not Anthony, no. He wants to be called Sir Tony. The appointments are the personal choice of our Queen. Oh, shut up. With up to 24 knight and lady companions. Baroness Amos, a former Labour cabinet minister, becomes the first black member. of the order. Yay! The ceremony, or the ceremonial order, founded in 1348, is a recognition of significant public service made to, well, the personal gift. Well, made as made as a personal gift of the monarch. You know, the Queen. Oh, with a big crown and stuff. And hats. Anyway, Mr. Blair becomes Sir Tony on the 1st of January as he joins the order as a knight companion. I shouldn't laugh. Now, it is a, well, immense honour, he said. He said it has been a great privilege to have served as Prime Minister, adding, I would like to thank all those who served alongside me, in politics, public service, and all parts of our society, for their dedication and commitment to our country. Yeah. I'll send you all to war. He didn't say that, but I thought I'd just add it. Now he says he will be Sir Tony. Yeah. Rather than Sir Anthony. Okay. Pretentious prick. Anyway, there has been several fictional on-screen... Oh, my fingers come. Sorry, I digress. Thank you. Oh, what have I got? Right, there we go. Where was I? Anyway, I had something come through the post. Now, there have been several fictional on-screen depictions of the relationship between the head of state and a former Prime Minister. But this might be seen as an act of personal recognition from the Queen. Baroness Amos becomes Lady Companion, honouring her career as International Development Secretary, a United Nations Under Secretary for Humanitarian Affairs, and her current role. Master of University College, Oxford. Baroness Amos, 67, and Tony Blair, 68. Become two of the Order's younger members. Younger members? Oh my God, most of them in their 70s, 80s and above. And the post is held until their death. Then long then. Personal approval. Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. Camilla is appointed as a royal companion. A move likely to be seen as showing the Queen's endorsement for Camilla's role as a senior member of the royal family and spouse of a future monarch. Well, I wonder if she'd have gifted the same honour to Princess Diana. Well, the Duchess has had an increasingly high profile with her own campaigns, such as warning against domestic violence. I wonder what triggered that. With new appointments, there are now, there'll be 21 companions out of a maximum of 24. Another former Prime Minister, Sir John Major, is among the current members of the Order of Garter, along with businessmen and philanthropists, Lord Sainsbury and former MI5 chief, Baroness Manningham Buller. God, these are such pretentious titles. Oh, it winds me up, it does. Now, appointments are usually made in April, but they have been brought forward a year. Maybe she's on her last legs. Oh, anyway. The order, instituted by Edward III in the 14th century, was rooted in the idea of medieval chivalry and monarchs surrounded by their most senior aristocratic companions. The modern criteria, according to Buckingham Palace, is to honour those who have undertaken public service, who have contributed in a particular way to national life, or have served the sovereign personally. Now, the Queen takes part in an annual procession with members of the order at Windsor Castle, wearing a velvet robe and plumed hats. A banner of heraldic arms and the knights is on display at St George's Chapel at the castle. In Scotland, there is an Order of the Thistle. I'm sure Glasgow Kiss knows about that. Instituted in 1687, with the most recent appointment made in 2018. Is that you, Glasgow Kiss? No? What a shame. Anyway, that's that. So, let's get back. Let's get. Oh, here I am again. Oh, dear. Oh, my coffee's all gone. I'll go check the chat in a minute. I bet there's going to be some boost in there, isn't there? I bet there's going to be a lot that I've got to show. I bet there's going to be some there being flagged by YouTube. Oh dear. Oh God, Bennett. What was she thinking? Oh, I know Duke Vengeance. I don't think he's not very happy about this. No, I do know. I bet you said something on Twitter. It does make you wonder, though, doesn't it? Oh, my bear's flat. Really flat. Crikey. So, what has people been saying? Oh, Daily Blase! How are you doing, buddy? Oh, crikey. I haven't actually caught up with you recently. I haven't been on the live shows for Max, whatever. Although I don't know when his last live show was, to be honest. But, I haven't actually been about much. I had my head a little bit out my bottom, trying to do stuff. Alright, what's he saying? Okay, there's a new Brexit come. Oh, sure, that's fine. Now, if you posted any chats and I haven't seen them, such as Duke, yeah, I don't know how to put that one. If they haven't showed up, it's probably because YouTube have censored them. It's not me. I haven't got rid of them. Oh, and show that one. That's good. That's fine. So I'm just going through these because there's some here I have to say show, because YouTube said no, can't have that. No. That's applying my password. That's fine. God, I can't believe they even censor words like shit. It's just really. Right, I think that's it. Is there any more? Oh, there's another one. No. Cool. Blimey. Okay, let's get to it. Oh, what are you saying? Oh, dare I look? Where I can't think where I was last time. Oh, dear, you do me. Oh, we're going banking first. Mellows. Okay, Glasgow Kiss. Mellow. Scotland was the most likely to be taking the UK government to international court. Yeah. I can't remember what the rules are now, but there's certain criteria that pretty much makes it happen. We need Indie Truck Davey. He'll be able to tell us. I watched his videos recently. He's well worth following if you can understand his accent. Cause I know you probably struggle with my accent. It's a very strong Scottish accent. Lovely guy though, and he does a lot about Scottish independence, and he's really clued up. Definitely worth watching. He's a truck driver. I'm a woodworker. Sorry, that's what I do. I make things out of wood. Wally bar, as in Wally Wood. Can't get there. Do it, Wally. No, he's laying down there on the floor in front of the fire. What's he like, eh? He's a lovely little dog, he is. He's my buddy. So Ginger asks, the value of my house has jumped 30%, and I refinanced at a point. Yes, that's I think I mentioned this before. My son, he refinanced so he can get fix the interest rate, and he did that about 2 years ago. But he runs for a certain amount of years. I'm a bit concerned for him because if interest rates increase, it's not going to help him much because obviously it increases the cost of his mortgage at the end of the term. So obviously if he wants to renegotiate a fixed interest rate, it's going to be a higher rate, isn't it? And they're already not to the bone, but because they both work and they earn quite good money, but they don't have a lot of disposable income because they have to pay quite a bit of childcare. That really eats at their money. I'm sure there's other people can appreciate that. Don't have kids. I've got 6. Although they're all grown up and they're left the coop. Right, I'm trying to think where I was. Oh. Okay. So Heather Hanks says here, the Financial Times are saying that the coronavirus crisis is set to bring more long-lasting damage to the UK economy than any other country in the G7. The IMF has warned. So they're saying the coronavirus crisis. What's the one thing that the UK has got independent of any other country? Flipping Brexit. It's Brexit. Although you also got the blonde Boris mutant variant, haven't you? Who happens to be
Tipper.
that he is. Is that right? Joe Marios is saying that every day there's more news about Brits selling houses in Portugal. Selling their houses in the UK and moving to Portugal. Well, that's only if you've got money, isn't it? Because obviously you've got to meet the minimum criteria. I think Portugal's rules are very similar to Spain's. I might be wrong. If you let me know, mate. But he does say also that he hopes that the hillbillies stay there, as in the UK. Not all Brits are bad, There's quite a few nut jobs, but I think the majority of people are actually quite decent. Did I order a coffee?
Oh, you said something about
My coffee being cold? Yeah, it did get cold because I keep forgetting to drink it. But it got cold. I got a beer that went flat. No, I'll still drink it. It's wet. How else am I supposed to maintain this physique? Cheers. Oh, and Happy New Year. And I've already said it, but some people might not have heard. Also, I've got all the dogs up there again. Oh dear. Probably pulled the cables out. The bear is Waggy Tail. That's Sebastian Bear. Scrolling through here. Like, Happy New Year to you too, Daily Blase. Check out his channel. I don't know how I need to find out how you actually add that in there so I can actually put his link up to channels, because that'd be pretty cool. How do I do that? Glasgow probably knows. Maybe Glasgow can tell me on Discord how I do that. If it's possible to get them come up on my chat, or others come to that. Because I'm going to be doing more live shows. Hopefully, I've been kind of meandering a little bit on this one, to be fair. I'm just trying to keep with these. What I want to do, I'm putting a monitor up there. If I can find it. Got a monitor somewhere. So I can actually have all the chats come up on the monitor and I can review it a lot easier over there. Because originally I was going to have all that back and you can see the front of the desk and stuff. But then it's just like a little dot. Like this. Yeah, so I thought I'll make myself bigger. And get the camera a bit closer. Now, I'm hoping the quality of the image will improve as well when I get my HDMI adapter, which should be coming today. And then the microphone, which is coming on, Wednesday. I will try that with the live streams as well. But what I'll do is I'll check this one and make sure the sound is okay, because I was a bit upset with the sound last time. That was awful. Oh, take care, Mo Green. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's quite good to me. You take care with me. You're running off to your dog. No, don't go to the doctors. No. Oh, there. Oh, we're a bit talking about doctors and hospitals. We're a bit concerned at the moment because my little granddaughter in the UK, she's got a little bit of a growth in her neck. She's only not that tall. And it keeps getting infected. And she's got like a lump that's come up in her neck at the moment. And basically, she needs this thing taken out. It's like a little polyp thing or something in her neck that keeps getting infected. It swells up, and obviously, it can cause sepsis if it bursts. So she's going to have it drained, and then they're talking about having it removed later. But they've got to get the swelling down first before they do it. But oh my god, it's so slow. It seems a bit sticky plaster for a while. Do you mean instead of actually dealing with something, stick something on top of it, leave it a bit. Oh my god, it all flares up again, and we go through the same old cycle yet again. It's been going on for a few years now, but probably about 2 years. So it's a bit of a worry. Marbles is not a swear word. Marbs. Marbs? Is that a word at all? Or are you talking about marbles? Oh, nothing serious. That's good. That's good to hear. Cheers, buddy. Hello, Mad Monk. You're trying to listen to my brother? Oh, Mad Monk. Ah! I've tried listening to your brother, but I can't understand what he's saying. Excellent. I know what you're saying. I persevere, though. Really? Sandy Reed says, I saw more dolphins off Prestwick Beach in the last 18 months than I've seen Tory politicians. Does anyone else have dolphins? Well, the only time last time I saw dolphins was in Dolphin Bay. Yeah, near Ginger Island. We saw dolphins, didn't it? Hello, Jasper. I didn't see you there, mate. Septic tank. That was random. Why septic tank? Are you talking about the UK? Because it's a bit of a septic tank at the moment, isn't it? No one seems to be talking about that, do they? No one's talking about the fact that the UK is still pumping, well, poo into the rivers and sea. It's not great, is it? No. Very happy fish, not. Mellow says the only business Tony Blair needs to, to do is give us all our money back that he's stolen. Blimey. Indy Truck Navy, yeah, he's a good guy. Glasgow. He's certainly clued up. He knows what he's talking about. On Scottish matters. He's quite passionate about it as well. You know what I'm saying? Blair sent us to war. Yep, that would be true. He did. Now, I do have a little bit of problem with that statement, and I think I said something on Twitter. I can't remember. And yes, he did. But also did 412. Is it 412 MPs, Labour and Conservative MPs? They voted for it. Aren't they to blame as well? Aren't they all to blame? And some of those MPs are now in the cabinet. Oh dear. Yeah, there's a few comments here about Tony Blair, about doing things to him. I obviously can't say that. Oh, anyway, I'm digressing a bit too much here. I'm meandering. There's lots of things about Tony Blair, but I don't know if I can actually repeat some of them. Oh, William George Fraser says you didn't get the joke about Wroxham. Ah, that's what he's on about. I thought you were talking about not being Norfolk. No, we're talking about Roy's of Wroxham. Then in Wroxham, there's a privately owned supermarket there. There's also DIY and various other shops as well. All Roy's of Wroxham. It's pretty much the whole town or whole village town. But yeah. To be fair to them, they're quite good in that they in the supermarkets, you know exactly where everything comes from. There's all countries of origin and stuff regarding the vegetables and what have you. They're quite a good supermarket. We used to shop there a lot because it was only for us, it was under 5 miles away for us. A bit of a roundabout trip. Unless you go by boat, it's a much shorter trip, but it used to take much longer because you're on water. Yeah, so Roy's of Wroxham, that was one of our favourite jaunts, that was, regarding shopping. Very, very useful too. I imagine it's still... No, it's still there, because Mrs. told me. She went there when she visited the kids. Click on it. Kit Kat. Hello, Kit Kat. Hey, Diddlin. Happy New Year to you, too. Yes. Hey, don't you think he's passionate? I was being polite. Okay. He can get a bit loud with it. Yeah, great though. But crikey, don't you know what he's talking about? Daily Blase, watching this. Hey, cheers, buddy. Brilliant all shorts. Oh, that must be me. Putting the world to rights while slurping a cup of Yorkshire. No, sorry, it's not Yorkshire tea. Are you slurping Yorkshire tea? I drink coffee. I'm sorry. Ever since I moved to France, I haven't had a decent cup of tea. Not once. I don't know what it is. It must be the water. I'm converted to coffee. And I'm quite funny about my coffee now. I do like my coffee. Oh, you're playing your guitar. Oh, that's cool. Oh, you're drinking the Yorkshire tea, of course. Why they call it Yorkshire tea? Most of it comes from India. Does Yorkshire actually grow tea a bit wet there? I think it's a bit wet. They do grow a lot. Don't they grow tea in South Africa, don't they, as well? What more can a man want? Yeah. Oh, God, I really wish I could play my guitar. I don't know if you realise, I'm getting a new microphone, Daily Blase. You can actually plug your guitar directly into the back of it. It's a Samsung G-Track. It does 2 tracks. So it doesn't put it over the top of the existing audio track for your voice. It actually creates a separate track. And it's actually really good. Well, Samsung is a microphone brand that's been around for donkey's years. A long, long time. A lot of the old recording studios and also radio stations used to use. Remember the old chromium type microphones that look like a bit grid over them? A lot of them were Samsung. Not Samsung as in Samsung mobile phones, no. Samsung as in Samsung Delilah. I did explain that earlier, but you might not be there. The Queen lost... Yes, the Queen lost her mind. I suppose there is that to it. She's very old, to be fair to her. But we don't actually know what her relationship was with Tony Blair. Because, the Prime Minister has a meeting with the Queen once a week, doesn't he? Poor girl. Boris Johnson, can you imagine? But yeah, he's... They probably had a really good relationship. Now, Iraq was a massive, massive mistake that we know. And we'll never know the real ins and outs of it all. We all speculate. And we've seen so many reports, haven't we, one way or the other, but I don't know. I really don't. Oh, Veg. Oh, thank you, Veg. I didn't mean just call you Veg. I mean Veg Pie. Sorry. Yeah, and Happy New Year to you too. Thank you. That's most kind. Don't forget to click like if you haven't done so already. I've got 108 likes. Oh, that's very good. Thank you. It's most kind. I do like a like. It helps the channel. Now, I do wonder this. Where are we... Maybe you know. What's next? So we've got all these problems regarding importing into the UK, because obviously the introduction of all these checks, which happened yesterday, started yesterday, on the 1st. No, not yesterday. My God, it's the 3rd. I've lost track of time. Blimey. 3 days ago. And not a lot has happened yet, has it? Not a lot. Because obviously it's, well, it was over the weekend and over the holiday and stuff. What's going to happen when it really, takes charge of imports? All these new checks. I know for a fact if I was a, business head in the EU, oh God, I don't know if I would be bothered with that. And I'm filling all this stuff online and it fails and you can't submit it. Just like Lambert was saying from Lambert Wines. He had to circumvent a lot of the system to be able to make it work. He couldn't submit his application. This was way back, and now he's obviously, I need to read his latest blog post because I hear there's some updates. I haven't seen that yet, no. Hello, Daily Blase says, yeah, I have 2 old Samsung track mics, and then brilliant, floating about in the back in my black hole there somewhere, or back hole. Oh, saucy. Okay, I'll get you. The first chance to write the new year on something was this morning. And I messed it up. Oh dear. Sorry, Gingers. Oh, and I will reply to your message on Etsy. I'll have a look at that. I have read it. I just only briefly sort of glanced through it because my head was elsewhere. Joey Morales says, I will not be fun to watch business in the UK paying costs to get their goods and trying to sell them in the EU while the market, quota disappears. What's going to happen is, though, especially British exporters are already finding that we already know it's about 70% loss regarding food. 70% or 26% of export business is being lost on the food industry. Well, it's going to happen on the other way around. These markets get fulfilled, but at the moment, for the EU, the markets get fulfilled by EU businesses. The problem for the UK is the reason why we're buying stuff in from the EU is because we're not making it in the first place. So we don't have the options. We're sort of hamstrung, or literally strung up. In the UK, we just don't have the options at all. Now, that will obviously encourage some industries to start. All of a sudden, I see a market. Because obviously we can't get it from the EU now. We can start making stuff. But they've got the other problems. Where do materials come from? Probably via the EU. Oh my God, staff. We can't get the staff. Blimey. Oh my God, we got our stuff, but now we've got to pay them darn sight more money. Because they can get jobs elsewhere for more money. It's just simple, isn't it? It's just simple sort of bottom line, profit and loss type stuff. And that means the product price goes up. And then that hampers the sales. Items that you might have, before bought. But you know what it's like sometimes? You're looking at something, you want to buy something. And you hum and har over it. Do I really want to do anything? And if it's too expensive, you're going to say to yourself, nah, sod it. I'm not going to bother buying it. But if it's within your price, within your budget, you might press buy anyway. That's one sale gone. If you can't afford it, you're not going to buy it. Well, then that sale's gone, isn't it? Simple, really. And we're going to see that across many businesses. And the problem is that money filters down. Money filters down to, to other industries. Whether it be the coffee shop down the road that had the staff coming in at lunchtime to buy coffee and maybe a bacon sarnie. So they're going to get hit. It's a knock-on effect. There's obviously with the lockdowns and what have you, where people, and they're working from home, all those little industries that originally benefiting from people, with their friends, what have you, going for a coffee with each other, talk about coffee. Have a little bit of yin-yang, a little bit of a chat over a coffee and maybe a sarnie. Or bagel. Who knows? Could be anything. It's a bit European, though, bagels now. I don't think they'll have bagels now. A lot of that's just ending, isn't it? It's lost. A lot of that is obviously down to the pandemic as well, because trends, for argument's sake, my son-in-law, he used to work in an office. Don't now. He works from home. Well, actually, he's actually working from his own office now, because he's actually renting a place now to actually work from, because the kids are too noisy. So he's actually, anyway, I digress. But lots of people are working from home, and they're not venturing out. They're going to their own fridge instead. So they're having their deliveries once a week come in and filling their fridges up and make their own sarnie. They're not spending that money. It's not going into the system. It means less taxation, less gross domestic product. I know it's a small example, but there's many other examples. How many people go shopping in their lunch break? In the cities, on the high street? What's going to happen to the high street? Oh, business rates has pretty much killed that off, hasn't it? So people are just not going to spend the money. Now, my son, for instance, he works for TFI Fridays. I think it's TFI Fridays, a restaurant type chain thing. And he manages a place there. And during lockdown, it closed. So he started, earning money elsewhere. He was doing two jobs, basically. He was getting paid for one and doing a second job because he was allowed to do so. Well, he had a baby on the way, so why wouldn't he? Not personally, his girlfriend. Yeah. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, no, and Danny DeVito. Definitely not. But yeah, it's just we're just not spending the money as we was. That's what I'm trying to say. Because and that's basically because of the pandemic. But now we've got Brexit on top of that. It's just going to increase the cost of everything also, and then that's going to make our spending, but our disposable income is going to be far less. I think it's nuts. Tony Glass Cricket says Tony Blair is right. Jeremy Hunt. Also, I'm confused now. Tony Blair, Boris, Nigel. There's quite a few nasty, horrible people out there. Tory scum just want people back in the office because they want the rent from the local businesses. Yeah, because a lot of those Tories own the buildings. A lot of them are property developers. Tycoons and all that. Now, I used to live in Salhouse. The next village along was Woodbastwick. And you had the Caters. Big family, big farming family. Huge, in fact. They go back to royalty. Well, they're linked through distant relatives, royalty. And they own a square kilometre in Kensington of office space. You can imagine what they think. Well, that's worth. Crikey. Very rich people. They drink their tea like this. They put like that and stick a finger out like that. And when he's got his little champagne glasses like that, yeah. I can't do it because I've got no stem, but you know what I mean. It's just right tough. His brother was a lovely person, but I've got his name now. Albie Cater, yeah. But he's an arsehole. Oh, I just said that. Hey, P. Dallas, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Yeah, you kind of missed everything I've done. I've done a bit about small to medium enterprises, which I can't put the whole script in the description because it won't fit. You've got a limited amount of words, and it's about 2,000 words, this bit I've done. Sorry. 2,000 characters. Sorry, not words. Is it words or characters? Can't remember now. No, 2,000 words, but you've got a limit of 5,000 characters in the description on YouTube, so I can't put the whole thing in. I'll put some of it in there. But also done a bit about banking and inflation, and also about Tony Blair. So Ginger's Giraffe says, I've worked from home for 6 years when COVID started. For 6 years? When COVID hasn't been going for 6 years, has it? I don't think so. When COVID started, that's different sense. When COVID started, I made sure to order food from a local restaurant 1 day a week to help the local economy. That's a very, very commendable thing to do. It's not something I could do here because we're literally very isolated and they don't have no deliveries here. We're literally in a little hamlet outside of Limoges in the sticks. I'm surrounded by cows. Yeah, the mooing type. Yeah, not Tories, no. And Duke Vengeance says, in my hometown, Walsall, most of the shops are boarded up and the ones that are open struggle to stay open. Riddingshall, down the road from me, is slightly worse. I know, it's shocking. Even from out at Norwich, you've got Gentleman's Walk in Norwich. It's like the main high street that goes past the Norwich Market and what have you. Very old. You've got the old arcade. Norwich is a beautiful city. I'm not going to get away from that. But a lot of the places now, they're just shutting down. And then we had some more out-of-town shopping places. Out-of-town shopping experience. Such as in Angliss Square. And that's just now like pound shops and stuff like that. And I used to love Angliss Square. And now it's gone a bit manky. It's not great. There was a block, loads of flats above it. And they haven't been lived in for donkey's years, for as long as I can remember, because they're rendered unsafe. And now it got bought, and they're talking about demolishing it, but there's no money to redevelop the site. So that's probably going to go into housing, I imagine. So that'll be more shops gone as more people go online. But the thing is, it's a catch-22 situation. The less availability we have on the high street, of products, less choice, less choice on the high street that we have, the more likely we're going to be shopping online. And the pricing. We buy on price. It's just human nature. Well, some people say so. You just have to. We can't all afford to pay the higher price, the retail price. For instance, the microphone I just ordered, that was 150 euros, which I bought online by Bax Music in France. Actually, I think it's in the Netherlands. I think it's a Dutch company. Anyway, I bought this microphone. Other places are selling it for around 250 euros, and this place was only 150. It's 100 euros difference. It's just nuts. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. You can't want that why people go buying stuff online, but we have to make it more affordable to keep these shops open. People love to window shop for a start, then go and press the buy button online. I don't blame them. Money's tight. When I was growing up, my dad would go to work. A boat builder. Apart from the time when we had a bit of a recession and they went into fitting windows for 0.5 and Debenhams and Tubby and various other window firms. But he went back to boat building again when things are fine. Now, my mum, she had little cleaning jobs she used to do, a couple of hours a day at the school. But she was very much geared towards looking after us. No, I'm not saying that we should have this sexist thing where one parent should be going to work and the other parent, such as the wife, whatever, will then just look after the kids. I'm not saying that at all. I think we have a shared responsibility. Just a shared responsibility. But we shouldn't need to have both parents working full-time jobs just to keep their head above the water. That's just not right. It just isn't. Mortgages are too expensive. It's too expensive to buy property in the UK. Actually, mortgages are cheap, but the properties themselves are too expensive. Just nuts. So YouTube thinks you're 16. That's not fair. I'm 53. Okay, Jasper. And they don't believe me. I wonder. Can I get a cheap bus ticket? Okay, you could try. Kit Kat said, I'm wondering if I should stop selling in the UK for the time being until it becomes more clear how the checks will affect shipping times. Kit Kat, I'm not sure whereabouts are you based? Are you in the EU, are you? Brexit's killed. Yeah, it has. It's just made it too expensive. That's because I was doing a lot of Etsy stuff. I kind of calmed down a little bit at the moment. I haven't renewed a lot of my posts. You probably noticed if you've been on there. And my items for sale. And I've been kind of humming hard. I actually took the UK off as a seller destination because it just wasn't quite sure what the score was. I did send one item to Scotland, in fact, and it was just too expensive. This price would be out of the market anyway. Do I want the aggro or the CN22 forms, CS23 or whatever it is? You've got to fill all the stuff. You've got to be really descriptive with your description, and now it's going to be likely to be subject to import tariffs because some of the items have items that are made in China, such as the little wooden thermometers I make with the little that bit is from China. I can't make thermometers, no. I have to buy that bit. No, so I get where you're coming from there, Kit Kat. It's bad for... Joe Morales says, yep, it's bad for the UK because around here, news from the UK are getting scarce as people simply don't care about it. No, they don't. But they will do. They will do. They'll start feeling it. They'll be feeling the pinch. And it'll be no longer a case of, it's because of the COVID or whatever. It'll be Brexit. It'll be obvious. It's got to be obvious. I hope so, anyway. Well, I don't hope it's going to be... No, some ways I do and some ways I don't. I hope people wake up, basically. I'm afraid Glasgow Kiss is probably right here, Kit Kat. Give up while you can. While you're here, give up with the UK. And it won't get any better, I know. I think that's a sad fact. Especially while we've got this government. But got to get them out. It's just ridiculous. M. Carpenter, how do you do, buddy? I've got a wavy hand. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. V said what I just said. Nothing will change until we get the Tory scum hair removed. Very good point. I made the exact one. I just didn't see your thingy, your chat. A good source for microphones and everything around stage stuff like PAs and instruments. Yeah, Foam. I've used Foam before. My electric drum kit from there comes from Foam. I did a video about that. Not on here though. On my other on another channel. I basically did it live. Not like I did a video how long it takes to put the thing together. This drum kit. That's quite funny. Got a lot of views as well. I managed to sell drum kits via the actual videos. Via Amazon. I don't know if you realise that if you've got a channel and you've got a product that you could sell via your channel, you do what you think called Amazon affiliates. What it means is you apply for Amazon affiliates, you get approved by them, and you get access to the affiliates system. You put a product in that you're interested in. Let's say for instance it was this microphone I'm talking about, the Samsung G-Track. And it comes up with the product, you get a link, you put that in your description of your video, and if you click on if somebody clicks on it and buys something else while they're on Amazon, you get a commission. So it's not a huge amount, but you do get a commission. But you must say that there is an affiliate link in your description. Otherwise you're breaking Amazon rules. Probably YouTube rules as well, actually. Kristen Cruz, Mellow, is your caps lock key stuck? I have to admit, he does get noticed. I pretty much read all this because they're all caps. But the problem is, if everybody does that, I wouldn't see anyone's. Everyone would be caps. I think it's all mellow. Oh dear. Oh, 100 Trees Plant Nursery. Hello there. Talking about trees, I'm going to do a GoFundMe later. I need to work out how we're going to do it. We need to get all our plans in place. I've talked about this before, but Caroline reminded me actually, because we won't be doing it soon. In fact, we should have done it a little bit earlier, really started the process. We've got fields here, and at the moment, they're full of grass. I have to cut it. But also, we think it's a good idea that some of those fields could be trees. We'll create some little woodlands. So we're talking about doing around 2,000 trees. So I'm thinking about doing a GoFundMe to try and get the money. I can't afford it. God, I ain't got the money. Although I bought a microphone. That'd be skimpy. But so we've got a field over, and that's a triangular field over there, which we want to plant with trees. We can't do all the field because the level of the rock underneath is too high in some places. So there's an area there we want to do with trees. But this field behind me, which you can't see at the moment, I'll do that in the GoFundMe. It's quite large and it's very arable, so the trees will do really well there. I say it's very arable. There's no, we used to have sheep on it and stuff like that. But apart from that, it's we want to plant trees. I think it'd be good for the environment. I like trees. So it'll be a mixture. I was thinking about doing a mixture of deciduous and and pines and stuff like that. Like a variety of different spruces. But we'll keep it fairly diverse because obviously you've got to think about disease transmission and stuff like that. If you have all the same thing in one tree, let's say for instance ash, you get ash dieback, don't you, and stuff like that. So you just you don't want that. Anyway, I digress. So we're going to do a GoFundMe on planting trees at some point. I'll get it really sorted out. Yeah, the oven deal is bad, man. For the art, music. Oh my god, that's Mellow guys, because he's got caps on. You know that works, don't you, buddy? That's what it is, isn't it? That's what I read is, anyway. Oh dear. Yeah, while we're there. Anyway, Mellow said, in caps lock, oven deal is bad, man, for the art, music and culture because it's...
We got an oven ready deal, put it in the microwave.
Really? I think it's burnt. Well, it's cooked on the outside and raw in the middle. Well, it is. So, fruit. We have got quite a few fruit trees here already. In this area in the Limousin, they used to grow a lot of grapes years and years ago, but we've got some virus that killed all the grapevines off. So they had to plant something that was not subject to this particular virus. So they plant trees, apple trees. So we have it's very much like a Granny Smith apple. They call it the Limousin apple, and it is like Granny Smith. Very nice apple too. Granny Smith, yeah, it's like Granny Smith. So we could plant a field of bonsai trees. Really? uh, I actually do want a bonsai tree for my desk. So I can start the video, be clip with that. Be at the left. I mean, that's yeah. I do want to get a bonsai tree, but I think that it's cost an absolute fortune for one big enough for this tree. But I don't think it'll do a huge amount for the environment. No. I tell you, one of the best things for the environment is oh, what are they called now? Mangroves. Yeah, I didn't realise that. Actually, Graham was when I was at Ginger Island was telling me about the mangrove trees, but how good they were for garden, sucking in the what's its carbon dioxide. And since we've been talking about doing this GoFundMe for the trees and what have you, but I did some search of what's the best trees for absorbing carbon dioxide, and mangrove came into it. It's quite interesting, really. The mangroves, but I can't have mangroves here, no. Oh, yeah. Okay, done. I think we're going to have to call it in a minute because I think we've got to walk the dogs. Oh, we have. Is that what you meant? Walk the dogs. That's kind of like got witchy fingers. What's your name, Preet Patel? Before it gets dark. Oh, okay. We can't have it getting dark, can we? Ooh, no. So yeah, we go. Actually, and also we've been going now for over 2 hours. Oh my god! I wonder my throat is dry. So Christian Cruz says a field of bonsai trees where the rocks are. Yeah, we've got plenty. Oh, I see. You mean now because that field over there with the rocks. What are bonsai trees like any tree? But you sort of like hampered their growth, sort of like kept them tight. Is that what? Or was that a specific kind of tree? I think that's just I don't know. There we go. Where are we again? That's a very good point, Joe Morales. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but I do apologise if I'm not. Marcus, most companies have felt the drop of trade with the UK and started looking elsewhere, like tourism. Very good point. That is why it's losing interest since 2019 to 2020. Yeah. Obviously, the pandemic has not helped with that one either. Pierre Della says, Christian Cruz, to get back into the single market, the UK needs to nullify the capitulations signed to, I can't say it now, to Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and possibly India. Well, don't you think half the reason why they're doing signing these very crappy trade deals is so it makes it impossible to go back, to get back into the EU? I can't see it happening. I can't see it ever happening. Not now. I think the damage is done. The damage is done in the relationship. It's going to take decades to get that back. I can't see it. We can grovel as much as we like, but I can't see it happening. Yeah, you said 2019. Yeah, Joelle. Oh, quinces. Okay, well, Jasper's planted 2 quinces. Yeah. Quince jam. Very nice. Yep, well, that's what about. Anyway, I've digressed. Who do you mean? Hello, Tiger. Tiger PI. The Mellow does. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody who's. Hello, Joe. Oh, Joe, that'd be cool. Oh, love you, Jobbity. That'd be very good. Be a good start. I'll see if I can get it together. I want to get all the information together first. I don't want to. It look like as though I'm just trying to wing it. I want to make sure I've got some plans and that's what I can show, and I'll put that onto the GoFundMe. Loud noises. Oh, is that for God? Okay. All caps. Okay. You take care, Moa. Nice to have you here, buddy. Anyway, I'm gonna. Oh, there, Dave. Oh my God, it's more people. No, I don't think mangroves are a good idea, unless the sea encroaches. They love salt. They grow in salt water. No, I won't be growing mangroves, don't worry. I don't think I'll get very far. Mad Monk says, we went to Lidl this morning and got a pack of Squares sausages. I was surprised that it's shot up in price to 6 months ago. Where it was £1.10. Today it's £1.45. Do you mean euros? Oh, it was in the UK, sorry. Lidl's in the UK. Yeah. Well done, wasn't it? Sorry. I want to know why thinking burgers aren't... Yeah. In France, you can't get decent rolls. Like the proper English kind of baps. Well, we ain't seen them anyway. No. And the burgers are square. Isn't very helpful. Anyway, I'm going to go. And I want to thank everybody for joining me here. It's very much appreciated. There's still 70 people here, crikey. And 124 likes. Before we go, please click like. Damn it, over there somewhere. It's over where? I can't think it's over there somewhere. Yeah. Anyway. And, subscribe if you haven't done so already. But I imagine you might have done because you're here. So, yes, Boris didn't read instructions. Clearly said to do the microwave meal. No, he didn't. Anyway. Ta-ta. It's time for me to go. I've got to walk the dogs. And Wally, well, he's gone. He's not in front of the fire anymore. Oh, he's probably getting ready. He's probably, getting his hat on and stuff. Putting his jacket on. Because he wants to go for a walk. Before it's too late and too dark. So, ta-ta. Anyway, I'm going to do that. I might do another one tomorrow. We'll see how we get on. I want to do more live streaming. If I can, write the stuff quick enough, that is. So, ta-ta. Thank you. Oh, it says here, you will not be able to reconnect. Do you want to stop the stream? Oh. Well, let's just end with a bit of music instead. Ah. Thank you for joining me.